Hey guys, it's Zeon.
And Dr. Aggro.
And we're talking about anime this time.
Oh.
Yeah. No MCU.
I really like anime.
Oh, well shit. Erase was horrible, apparently because we're anime bigots, and it was the worst fucking thing ever. I think it gave me cancer.
Oh, wow.
My dog is dead.
So we're starting a fight is what we're doing.
But no. So the thing is, though, the way people talk about this anime, you would think it's either the best fucking show on earth, or the worst fucking thing.
It's incredibly polarizing.
Yeah, the last time I've seen an anime this polarizing was Sword Art Online.
Which I think a lot of what we're seeing, because I think this is endemic of the very, very recent anime community, where the people who love to rate, and these are broad categorizations, but it seems to be a lot of the people who think Erase is the best show ever are people who haven't seen more than 5 animes.
Yeah.
And people who are really hating on it are people who are really tired of these fucking people when they did this shit to Sword Art Online.
Yeah, that's probably what happened, because I know that's kind of like our stance with Sword Art Online was, you know, it's like, it was a meh anime that just kind of blew up in popularity, and it made us angrier because of it. And the thing is, though, like, this is one of those animes where, like, people expect you to choose a side. It's like you're Democrat or Republican, you like it or you fucking hate it, you know? And we're not on either side.
It's like, oh, Erase? Yeah, Erase was pretty good.
Yeah, that was right. Yeah, that's kind of the, and, like, especially, like when you first start watching,
I'm like, it's that scene in Community where Troy comes back into the room with the pizza and everything's on fire, people are dead and bleeding out, and just like, yeah, Erase is pretty, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, so, like, the first, like, I would say, like, the first 6 episodes of this series are fucking great. Like it just, it hooks you, it gets you the hook. It's like, okay, this kid, or this 29-year-old, 28-year-old, which is nice that we actually have, like, a fucking grown-ass man protagonist, not this fucking teenager in high school. No, like, this guy was just, honestly, in a lot of ways, this guy is kind of us. But
because remember, like, oh, he's 28. That's an interesting age for a protagonist. There's the high school girl. Okay,
yeah,
we're back on Earth.
Well, yeah, I mean, because it's in Japan, and in Japan, he could legally hit that. No horrible repercussions there.
Is Japan like a mutual combat state?
Is this like a Battle Angel Alita joke I'm not getting?
No, it's a local statute joke.
Oh, that I'm not getting. Okay. Yeah, I didn't. No. No, it's just Japan likes them lowlies. You know, like hyper-sexualized 14-year-old girls. That's where you go to, is Japan for that. Also, if you want to touch them on buses because they're too meek to
any Western country like 100 years ago.
That too. But, you know, then we developed standards.
No, we didn't. We developed statutes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Erase. Starts off, you know, we get our protagonist. He's like this 28-year-old kind of loser guy. He works as a pizza delivery. Had these lofty goals of being a fucking mangaka, and he just kind of completely shit the bed on that because he wanted to try and be a sellout. He sucked at being a sellout. And it turns out he has these really interesting power set where he is, yeah, basically, like, bad shit happens and he senses it. Like, basically, like he jumps backwards in time and goes, shit, I'm back in time like 30 seconds. I need to figure out what horrible thing is about to happen so I can stop it from happening. And, like, specifically in the first episode, it's like a guy falls asleep in his truck or whatever.
Which seems to happen a lot in Japan. Like, I don't know if that's just a trope, or if their weird work all day, work forever work culture mixes with it's already a bad problem of truckers not sleeping enough.
Yeah.
To just be this perfect storm of Yusuke Urameshi-ing a lot of kids.
Perhaps. I mean, especially if you're a truck driver and your job's just that, like, that's soul crushing. You don't have a building to jump off of. You know, I mean, you can try jumping off your truck, but I think all you gotta do is break your legs. But yeah, so, you know, he saves, like, a kid or whatever, you know, like you do. And then, you know, he sensed it when, like, some pedophile's about to pick up a little girl and to rape and kill, of course, because that's how pedophiles do.
Right.
And he's just like, oh shit, like, Mom, like, tell me if you see anything weird. And his super hot mom is looking around and she sees something suspicious, and she starts clicking back to some shit that happened years and years and years ago when her kid was a kid, like back in the 80s. And because, the same thing was happening, like little girls getting kidnapped, raped, murdered, and, was it raped and murdered or was it just murdered? Oh, shit.
I think it was just murdered.
Was it just murdered? I guess, like, in real life, those two kind of go hand in hand so often.
Usually.
But I feel like, in fiction...
And even when they don't sexually abuse them, the fucking forensics guys are in there like, oh, there was sexual pleasure when he cut her hands off. I don't know what's going on.
Did he, like, take the rigor mortis hand and just kind of... I don't know. So, yeah, there's... Like, that whole thing happens, and his mother starts remembering that shit that happened years ago. And she's like, I figured it out. I know who the hell that killer was from back then. Fuck. And she, like, is getting ready to expose the killer, and the killer realizes that he had been recognized, shows up at her house, stabs her, main guy. Damn, I kind of wish I looked these names up because I forgot. Because it's been like 2 months since we saw this. So it's going to be main dude, high school girl, adorable abused lowly, and... main dude's kid friends. And main dude's hot mom. Actually, I remember the main girl, Hanazuki, Kaio Hanazuki. I remember her name, and Airi. I remember the two girls' names. I can't remember main guy's name to save my fucking life, though. Fucking Japanese and them not having normal American names. How dare they?
Was it Kenta?
Kenta? Was it?
No.
No, I think Kenta was like one. Kenta was the blonde-haired kid.
Kenya was the blonde-haired kid.
Which he looked rather white for a Kenyan. But, so, yeah, like, he finds his mother's bleeding, dead body, freaks out, the police show up.
And he does the dumbest thing ever.
Okay. Adrenaline's pumping, you don't make the smartest choices. You find a dead body. Your immediate response is, I'm going to get blamed for this.
Your immediate response is, oh, look, the police, they can help. I mean, it's not like he was black.
That's 2 in 5 minutes. Okay, we're about to hit the quota for this entire vlog.
Dude, he just fucking, he runs. It's not even, it wasn't me. He's just over the balcony, he books it. Logan's Run style. Like, well... Now you're guilty.
Right. So, yeah, he ends up flashing back in time. And he goes back to the 80s when he was a kid, because his powers have never worked like that before. It's always sent him back like 30 seconds or so, like a minute maybe. This sends him back all the way back to his childhood. So now he has to figure out how to solve the murder, stop these girls from getting killed, and, figure out, like, who the murderer was to protect his mother and all that. And... it just kind of folds out from there, and... And as a note, we are on butterfly effect rules. Yes.
There is one timeline, everything he does affects it, but he maintains memories of both.
Yes. Yeah, so it's just like that movie that no one but you and I remember. That movie was actually not bad at all. At least, I don't think it was. I mean, I was like 19 when I watched it, so... I don't know, maybe I'll go back and watch it and think it was horrible, but I never think it was really good back then. But anyhow, yeah.
So he goes back in time... decides he needs to solve the murders and stop the murderer. I spent that whole anime, every time he was in the room with his mother, tell her you're from the future. You can prove it.
How do you prove that?
How do you prove you're a 28-year-old in a 5-year-old's body? Or 9, whatever.
Yeah, he was 10. Yeah, he was 10.
He has knowledge of the future. He speaks like an adult. He can, if anything, he can get her to understand something weird's going on. I need you to use your adult driver's license to help me with something.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not everyone would respond positively to that. His mother would. She would be down for that.
See, yeah, I mean, like, I feel like we know that because, we have that audience perspective on the character. I feel like he has a different perspective of his own mother, and he doesn't have faith that his mother would get that and be useful.
See, even discounting his mother, I spent the rest of the anime when he's with his friends. I'm like, your friends think it's a game. Hey, make it this game. Make it I'm from the future and I know what's gonna happen. Kenya would totally go for it.
Kenya would.
I honestly spent the first half of that anime thinking either Kenta or their teacher or both of Kenya or their teacher or both of them were also time travelers. Because that Kenya kid was too cool. There was something weird with him.
Yeah. Kenya, like, he always came off a little too smart for being a 10-year-old. Kaio came, at first I thought Kaio was too smart, and then I was just like, no, she's just really reserved from her horrible abusive lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, main dude's whole thing in this is to stop Hanazuki, the main girl, like little lowly girl, from getting murdered. Like, she was the first, and he's like, and he could have stopped it if he had, like, you know, tried to be her friend or whatever, and he's trying to, like, set that right. And, like I said, like, the first 6 episodes of this show, it is just, they keep the tension up so well.
Yeah, that pressure is on the whole time.
Like, even when you're just like, it's this really cute moment between these two kids, and it's really sweet and adorable. In the back of your mind, you're just remembering, this little girl's going to die probably.
Like, it's time travel, and they've already stabbed his mom.
Yeah.
Nobody is safe here.
Yeah, it is, whew. Even when, like, his first time around, I would say probably around this point where we're going to start hitting the actual spoilers, because, you know, we're going to start talking about post the halfway point of this. And, I recommend you watch Erased. That is my stance on this.
Yeah, it's a good
show. Form your own opinion. You know, maybe you'll love it, maybe you'll hate it. Really, it's the ending, I'd say, that's really divisive for people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, depending on how you deal with that ending will depend on, like, how much you enjoyed the show overall. The ending is weak, in a lot of regards, but it wasn't enough to hurt the overall experience.
Satoru.
Satoru, thank you. Why didn't you use that sooner? Anyhow, yeah. So yeah, Erased, we recommend you go watch it. Now on to, like, the spoilery part of this shit. Okay, so Kaio dies again, and Satoru jumps forward back to when his mother was killed, and fucking, what was it? Like, you know, him and Irie are, like, you know, like, Irie's trying to keep him safe and all this other stuff, because this stupid ass ran away, he is now a suspect.
Yeah, and, like, when he comes to the future the second time, it's like, well, you can't turn yourself in now, but maybe if you can keep time traveling, you can fix it anyway.
Yeah. And then, you know, and I think it still keeps up the tension, though, because it's like this thing of, like, because, like, now the murderer is specifically trying to frame him in the present.
Mm-hmm.
So it still kept up that tension. He's going after Irie. He's, you know, like, and...
See, like, the weird thing about the tension in the present era was I always felt it didn't matter at all. Because if he fixed everything with the time travel, then nothing he was going to do here was going to matter.
The thing is, though, when he jumps back, we don't know as the audience if he can... Or whenever he jumps to the present, we don't know as the audience at that point if he could jump back again, or when he was going to be able to.
I figured he was gonna.
I mean, yeah. You know, that seems to be
that's
the gimmick.
Genre savvy coming into play.
Yeah, that is. But yeah, I mean, so, yeah, and they could have gone either way, because, I mean, when he ends up in the present the third time, you know, I was just like, is this how this is going to end? Are we going to get like a little jump back? He's going to try and fix it again? So that way
I was waiting for it.
Yeah,
then that episode just kept going.
Right? So yeah, so he jumps back. When he jumps back the second time, I would say, is when a lot of the tension drops. Like kind of the atmosphere of the show changed a little, at least for me. Mm-hmm. And like I definitely felt a lot of the tension drop, but it was still engaging because now he was going into this. He had more knowledge of what was going to happen, so now he's playing this light versus L fucking chess game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he's just basically putting all the pieces in place. He goes, and you know, though I will say one of the tensest fucking moments is when he puts Kaio on that goddamn bus, and Killer Dude comes in the fucking bus. I was just like, no, you can't kill her again. I can't take this, you son of a bitch. Yeah. I like how, what was it? And that was such a great scene too because Kaio, like, she hears the door open, and she's like, Satoru? And she's like, there wasn't the knock. And she's like, oh shit, oh shit. And she's just, like, trying to be super goddamn quiet, trying so hard not to call attention. God, that was some intense shit. And it showed that, like, Kaio is intelligent and resourceful. You know, she isn't just a completely retarded, helpless 8-year-old or 10-year-old girl. Yeah. Like I said, the tension drops a little bit there. Where the show really jumps the shark for everybody is when teacher guy is going, the teacher killer is going after, like, the other girl, because he's already figured out Satoru has figured him out to some degree. And he goes and, like, friggin' puts Satoru in that damn truck, and it's just, he's just driving off with him. And god damn it, this show kept making so many blatant hints to, it's the teacher, it's the teacher, it's the teacher.
That's what I hear, but I overread that, and I'm like, well, clearly he's not the killer.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, though. Because, well, the thing is, though, what they did, like, every time they would do it, they would always kind of cover it up. Like, oh, he seems really kind of invested in this. Oh, he just sincerely cares. Oh, he has, like, all these fucking lollipops. Oh, he has, like, a smoking... And it's just, it feels like a bunch of red herrings to make you not think it's the fucking teacher. But by the time you get to the last few episodes, you're like, well, either it's the goddamn teacher, or it's someone else, or it's a time-traveling Kenya. Yeah, now that I said that last one out loud.
I really thought, like, other time-traveling demon was going to be in this show.
Yeah. So friggin', like, he friggin' gets him in that car, and then he just goes full mustache-twirling bad guy, full fucking Light Yagami just had the friggin' Death Note hand to him in the helicopter, red-eyed, all is according to Keikaku.
Yeah.
Just,
that was the moment.
Yeah, just, I have to admit though, like, I loved, what was it, just, they did a really good job of building up that, like, that tension, because you're just like, is this another fake out? Because you've kind of fucked with me before, show. Is this the fake out? Is this where you're gonna get me? And no, it's just, and he just freaking, like, buckles him into that freaking busted ass belt buckle and drives his ass into a fucking lake.
Man, how's he gonna get out of the... No, he's going in the water.
Yeah, because, like, and they had that fucking line right near the end of the episode. It's like, you know, it's like, I know the future or whatever. And it's just like, I'm like, okay, like, I guess the next episode was going to pick up and he was going to be rescued by the killer. Nope. Killer just let him fucking drown. He was just like, he knows the future. Ain't that a damn shame? Oh well, and just let him die. And just, friggin' Satoru wakes up. Friggin', what was it, like...
He must have pulled him out of the river. Because who else did?
See, I don't know. They never actually say.
I think he did go in after him.
Was that what was supposed to happen?
Yeah.
Okay, because I feel like they never actually specified. Maybe I missed that line of dialogue.
Yeah, because without help, that kid was not going to survive that car.
Oh god, I hear so many fucking people bitch about the seatbelt thing. It's just like, it's a seatbelt. It gives slack. You could have slid out underneath it. I'm like, I don't think that's how seatbelts work. I mean, because as far as I know, from a seatbelt, like, the waist part doesn't really slack. It's the shoulder that does. So you would have to slack the shoulder and then keep, like, you know, pulling it out. And I think when you're panicked as fuck and about to drown to death, you don't think about those things.
How was he stuck in the car?
He was... The seatbelt buckle latch was busted. So he, like, he forced it in place and he couldn't get it.
You pull a seatbelt all the way and feed it back in, it'll stay tight, so...
Yeah. So if everyone keeps bitching, it's like, oh, you can see the slack on his seatbelt. He could have gotten out. It's like,
oh, he can fit between the bars. It's a non-diegetic spacing. It's just how it looks.
Yeah.
Listen to what the show's telling you.
Yeah. You know. Plus, I always fall into that thing of when you're flipped the fuck out and paranoid, and you think you're gonna, like, you know, yeah, like, you go full lizard brain. You stop thinking about shit. You're just like, survive. Kind of like whenever the cop showed up to his stabbed mother, and he goes, survive! But yeah.
The dipshit who left through time.
Girl Lived Through Time's getting a Blu-ray release by Funimation.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it too because now they're labeling all those movies the Hosoda Collection. It's just like they realized they had a fucking marketable name on their hands now. But yeah, so yeah, he freaking just lets his ass drown. He ends up in a coma. And I found something. What I found interesting was he doesn't wake up exactly where he left off. He wakes up actually like a few years before that. So he's like probably like 23, 24 or something, as opposed to like the 28 that he was originally. Yeah. And he's all like fucking atrophied. He doesn't remember jack shit. And just friggin' killer guy is just waiting for him to get his memories back. And of course, yeah, he sets up the big elaborate plan and
It's fucking his friend show up like, I became a lawyer, I became something else. Waiting for you to fucking wake up so we can solve the mystery. I'm like, way to not let him have the power, guys. Way to not let this one asshole guide your entire lives.
Yeah. I have to say though, his friends were pretty damn loyal.
Yeah, no, Satoru's friends group is awesome.
Yeah.
Hashtag squad goals.
Yeah. And then, Kaio shows up and she had married Kenya and they have like a kid and everything.
Because of course she did.
Yeah.
Kenya.
Well, yeah, I mean, Satoru wasn't there, so, I mean, silver medal. But yeah, and I do like, apparently there are people who are really upset that from what I understand, people are upset because they think Satoru got totally cock-blocked by Kenya because Kenya stole Kaio from him. I'm like, guys, he was a 28-year-old, interacting with a 10-year-old. And I understand it's Japan, but hear me out here. Like, he was mostly in it to protect and save her. And he wanted to just see her not live a fucked up, abusive life and to see her recover, which is what he does.
He was going to hit that. And honestly, Kenya is such a super bro, I think it was just, placeholder.
Keeping it warm for him?
Mm-hmm. You're away.
Well, see, the thing is, though, now he has Irie, who's, 16. So, and that's legal in Japan. And so go him.
It's legal here.
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends if you have parental consent. I think in Japan it's just legal overall. In the Americas, if you plow a 16-year-old and the parents don't like you, you go directly to jail. You do not pass go. You do not get to fuck the 16-year-old again. Because apparently that shit happens. But yeah,
So yeah, I mean, the whole thing ends up in this weird, convoluted, try to record him admitting to...
Yeah.
Stuff that was apparently past the statute of limitations, but then get him to get caught trying to murder you. It was just...
Yeah. Yeah, it was that... Wait, was that past statute of limitations?
I think that was it. Everything he'd done was past the statute of limitations.
See, I thought the reason he was just trying to get him is because, he didn't have hard evidence to pin him to those crimes, is what kept it from getting arrested. Because, he could say, yes, I had figured out when I was 10 years old that this guy was a killer, totally believed the guy who was in a coma. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's going to work.
I mean, I can see why people really don't like it. It's weird, it's off-tone, it's off-kilter, it doesn't really seem to fit with the rest of the series.
Yeah, it is completely tonally at odds with, everything that happened up until that point. And it is just a really weird-ass ending. It is not where I expected it to go. Also, okay, so this is I think a 9-volume manga series. And from what I thought that this was gonna it wasn't gonna have an ending, and then we were probably gonna get a second season, hopefully get a second season, and I was gonna wrap up everything proper. Apparently, this is the full 9 volumes of manga, but they just cut out and hyper condensed a bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might also be where some of these weird tonal things come from.
But that might be where all the tension comes from. It's so fucking compressed that everything keeps happening.
Right? Because the whole thing, the entire first episode is 4 fucking chapters of manga or some shit. It takes a while for him to actually jump back in time to his childhood. So, and I guess that explains why that beginning is so rapid fire of established character, established manga thing, established that he works at a pizza place, established his power, established Irie, established, his desires to want to be a superhero, and, his whole issues with people, and...
That whole him being a manga artist thing, it seemed like it was tacked on to the beginning, and then it was tacked on to the end.
I feel like it kind of... I feel it kind of fits for his character because, you go back to his childhood, he was super obsessed with superheroes. He wanted to write superhero manga, and kind of through the course of the series becomes a hero himself.
I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, it was just kind of vestigial.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you removed it entirely and just kept the whole he was obsessed with being a superhero, like that would still work. I still kind of like it as part of his character because, seeing a character who wanted to be something and completely fucking failed at is something you don't see very often in fiction.
I'd really like to stop seeing working at a pizza place as a metaphor for having failed in life. I think that particular cliche shows up way too much.
And someone takes a personal offense?
Yes. You know what I wanted to do when I was a kid?
Huh.
Pizza.
I
did.
I was an internal fanboy. I love pizza.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah. Is it fucked up that, like, the coolest job I've ever had was making pizza?
No, that's the coolest job ever.
Yeah. I think we just worked at a really cool pizza place where we got to, like, listen to friggin' whatever the hell we wanted. And we had pretty much free reign and we could make whatever the hell pizzas we wanted.
So, halfway through this show, okay, you know how I have that problem where when I watch something, I have the biggest, most complicated explanation for what's going on, and then slowly whittle it down to what's actually happening. So halfway through this show, when I was still thinking that Kenya is a time-traveling demon was in play, I was thinking, maybe he's like that fucking, maybe this is a Haruhi Suzumiya spinoff. And they're time travelers, one of them's psychic, and halfway through, they're gonna meet Haruhi. Because this is where she disappeared to during the disappearance stuff.
So I was telling you before, like, the manga is super hyper condensed in this anime. So apparently this is the actual ending to the series. But, what apparently they cut out the most of is Irie's character. Which is really weird, because I'm like... Because I left Irie in the show, and, like, I always kind of felt like her character was a little tacked on. Because, like, when they go back in time, I'm just like, alright, well, whatever happened to Irie? Are we ever going to go back to it? Oh, we went back to it. And then we went back to the past, so then it stopped mattering. And then it jumped to the future, and then at the very, very end, there's Irie again. And I'm like, okay, she kind of felt like a superfluous part. And then I found out, like, in the manga, she had a much bigger part. Apparently, like her having, like, that camera at the end ties it to, like, her character stuff from the manga that they never explore. And I'm just like, if you're just going to cut out that much of her character, why not just cut out the character entirely and just try to, like, structure the story without her? Because, I mean, the only really relevant thing she does, I guess, is help Satoru a little bit during, like, when he comes back and she's, like, trying to, like, help him escape from the cops and shit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, her house gets burned down. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, really though, like that starts like the grand narrative doesn't mean jack shit. Especially considering he goes and time travels again. He could have been hiding from the cops, got outed by his boss, got arrested, and then like jumped back.
Her decking her manager is like that's going to be on my shelf of great moments.
Yeah, I can understand why his manager did it.
But bitches get stitches.
Oh. But yeah.
I need a gif now where it's like the wind up, act like a bitch, the hit, get smacked like a bitch.
But yeah, it's definitely a series with some narrative issues. It definitely loses its footing around the halfway point. But overall though, like as weird and off kilter as like the ending is for the rest of it, I'd say the total package experience, it's still worth watching. It's still a really interesting idea.
It's a good anime. It's got great characters in it. It's visually interesting.
Jesus Christ! Yeah. Talk about visually interesting. So this is an A1 Pictures production. It's directed by the exact same guy who made Sword Art Online. And I'm just like, where was all of this great directorial shit going on during Sword Art Online?
Sword Art Online had some great visual angles.
Yeah, yeah, the upskirts. Boom. But yeah, it's just like the cool little visual things they always did, like the little film reel stuff. Apparently, this guy was he worked with Hosoda like on like The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and stuff like that. And I guess that kind of explains like the whole film reel thing, because I'm like, it's very Girl Who Leapt Through Time-ish. So yeah, there's so much little visual flair in this, like the use of colors, like the lack of colors in certain scenes. Like I said, like the little film reel thing they kept doing. They changed aspect ratio, just like little things like that between the present and the past. I loved, what was it, when Satoru first wakes up from the coma, and they flip it, where up until this point, you know, when he was an adult in a kid's body, he thought, like, his thoughts were his adult voice, and then he spoke in his kid voice. When after he comes out of the coma, you know, they flipped that because he didn't have his memory. So he was literally a 10-year-old in a grown man's body, so they flipped that and he had, like, the internal voice of, yeah. That was a great directorial choice. Fucking, when Kaio was, like, at his house, and, like, you see her, like, she gets, like, they make her breakfast. Just, like, my favorite scene in that whole damn show. Like, they make her breakfast, and, like, before they even start doing the scene, I'm like, oh god, they're gonna go for this. And, like, you see it from her perspective, and she blinks, and it's, like, a piece of toast, and it blinks, and it's, like some wrapped shitty food or whatever, and then she blinks again, and it's, like, some yen for her to, like, pick up something on the way to school. Because, like, her parents didn't fucking feed her, or her mother didn't feed her, and she's like, that was fucking heart-wrenching. And then you just cut back to her, and she's just welling up with tears. It's like, fuck, anime, fuck!
And, you know, it's Kyle's mother through the whole thing.
Oh my god, what an evil bitch from hell!
She was the reason I'm yelling at Satoru to tell your mother you're from the future. Because she will beat the fuck out of Kaio's mother. She'll do it. She'll do it, and she'll go to the neighborhood association and tell them she did it.
Yeah, fucking Satoru's mom is the best mom in anime history. She is the hottest. She's the most proactive. Did I mention she's the hottest? Like, she gets shit done.
Might need to be a list we need to compile.
Hottest moms?
Well, best.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, because, like, you know, because it would be like her, Ash Ketchum's mom, you know, just, like, start building that list.
Matt and TK's mom.
Let's see. Bulma's mom. Shit. Trunks' mom. Oh, man. That's a video for another day. So, yeah, there's this... God, fucking Kaio's mom was such a sociopath bitch. Like, they pulled no punches in her being a fucking monster.
Like, I remember being 10. I don't remember being Japanese in 10, but I'm like, Satoru, get a pipe or something. You can take this bitch.
Right. I don't know, man. Like, you saw her pick up that shovel and almost freaking decapitate Satoru's mom with it.
She was fucking around. Just get up behind her and just back of the head.
I think Satoru could take her. You know, if she doesn't have a knife.
Down.
Huh?
Kenya would be down.
Right?
I mean, they have that kind of broship that if Satoru came to Kenya, sat him down and looked at him and said, I need you to help me beat the fuck out of a middle-aged woman. And I need you to not ask me any questions about it. Kenya would just, let's roll.
Right? When and where? Do we need duct tape in a trash bag? Yeah, just, oh god. Just, like I said, like, yeah, that anime pulled no fucking punches when it came to Kaio's mom. Jesus Christ, that was hard to sit through at some points. Fuck. And yeah, fuck it, man. Erased. Good anime. Just go see it. It's on the Crunchyrolls. It's on I'm sure it's probably on a few other sites as well, because that's usually how that works. But it's definitely on Crunchyroll. It's 12 episodes. It's worth seeing. You know, be expected for the ending to probably let you down.
Yeah, and I mean, it's worth seeing just for the fact that the next 6 animes that are anything like it are going to be compared to it.
Yeah. Honestly, like, I think this gets compared to anything. Like, I feel like it would be like Death Note, because Death Note, you know, it was hyper stylized. It was kind of this mystery series.
Yeah, visual, interesting mystery.
Yeah, it had like high tension, cat and mouse manipulative games going on. You know, two opponents that really didn't know anything about one another. And
like
then
if Clannad were Death Note, it would end up as this anime. Yeah, it's like that. It's like Death Note taking place in Clannad's universe.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, that mom from Clannad.
There we go. She's on the list.